poor Cleary was trapped. The coal had fallen off the tender around his legs. The steam valves on the top of the boiler had burst, and that was condensed inside in the cabin into boiling water, which was dripping down his back. He lost most of the skin off his back. So Murphy Engineering, there was no equipment proper in the railway at the time, so Murphy Engineering came over with the Cecilian burner. It's the first time I ever saw an Cecilian burner being used in Ireland. I don't think it was Murphy's had it for very long at the time, but they cut the side of the cab out and cut the roof off the engine and released Cleary.
And they were lucky not to have any casualties on that day.
There were a few slightly injured, but the reason there were nobody seriously injured, with the exception of Cleary, the driver that I mentioned, the reason nobody was seriously injured was that regulations had been broken that day when 2 horse boxes were picked up en route. And they should have been attached in rear of the train, but fortunately enough, to save time, they were attached behind the engine. And these took the brunt of the collision. And when the engine stopped on the bridge with her wheels up in the air, the coaches, of course, telescoped in, but the 2 horse boxes disintegrated, and all of the animals were seriously hurt. They had to be destroyed on the spot. Incidentally, they were very expensive animals, but they did save the life of the passengers on the train.
Jack, there are a number of historical incidents that happened on the line. Can you tell us about some?
Well, there's one, I suppose, the most best known one was the arrival of King Edward VII in Waterford on May the 2nd, 1904. He arrived at Bilberry Station, having spent the previous night with the Duke of Devonshire in Lismore Castle. And when he arrived, he was met by the mayor of the city, at that time named James Power, not, I hasten to add, the bully man, because he wasn't even alive then. Well, he was, he probably born, but this James Power was a leather merchant in Waterford City, lived in the manor, and he had laid on a banquet at his own expense in the Imperial Hotel that night for Edward VII. So Edward decided that in view of James's decency, he'd knight him. So he made him a knight on the platform of the Bilberry railway station. The only instant I know of anyone being knighted in a railway station. Sir James is not very well, nobody knows very much about him now. He's simply faded into history. But that was, I suppose, the moment of glory of the station, because it closed very shortly afterwards. That station later became the storage place for the building of Redmond Bridge. All the equipment to build the bridge was stored there and taken by barge downriver. Later on then, during the First World War, it became an ammunition works owned by the Kynoch Company, and it lay derelict then until 1935 when the Allied Irish Foundry moved in. And of course, you know, it's still a foundry.
Jack, when did the line close and what has happened to it subsequently?
Rather peculiarly, it closed in 1967, and demolition of the line began at Mallow, the Mallow end. And they lifted it very rapidly as far as Dungarvan and then stopped. And the reason they stopped was that the Quigley Magnesite Company had decided to set up in Dungarvan to process dolomite in Dungarvan and extract magnesium from the sea. So a new piece of railway was built 1.5 miles long into the plant at Balnacorty. An enormous weighted train started to run from the open cast mine at Bennisbridge daily down to Dungarvan. They took dolomite down and crude oil, which was used to generate the heat. And the cargo out of Balnacorty was magnesite, which went to Cork for export to America. Now, that stopped in 1982. And the reason it stopped in 1982 was that the government of the day had put a massive duty on the oil, and it was no longer economical to get the magnesite here in Dungarvan. So the factory closed down. Now the line has lain derelict since 1982, very much overgrown, but it is still intact from Waterford to Dungarvan. Not to Dungarvan itself, but Balnacorty. It's gone from Balnacorty to Dungarvan.
Recently, there have been efforts made to reopen the remaining 28 miles of the Waterford, Dungarvan and Lismore line as a tourist attraction. It would certainly be nice to bring this picturesque old railway back to life, but for now, we leave you with some more memories of its wonderful past. This program has been supported by Fall.
Hello and welcome along to Waterford Television. This is our final programme, for the time being at least. It's all about music. We've got local bands Ramb and Miss Brown to You. We also have Dublin band Aslan and a bit of fashion thrown in for good measure. So sit back and enjoy the programme.
Bring me a little water, silver. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, silver, silver. Every little once in a while. Put it in a bucket, silver. Put it in a bucket now. Put it in a bucket, silver, silver. Every little once in a while. Bring me a little water, silver. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, silver, silver. Every little once in a while. See them come running. See them come now. Don't you see them running? Every little once in a while. Sylvie come running. Sylvie come now. Don't you see her running? Every little once in a while. Bring me a little water, silver. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water.
Miss Brown, to you, a ladies' band synonymous with Waterford. Many changes over the years. Where exactly are you now musically?
Where we are is that between the changes that we've made in the last 4 years, the music has progressed and grown out of what we were originally, which was the Billie Holiday era and the Ella Fitzgerald type of stuff, where most people just assumed it was all three-part harmony, and we were sort of associated with the Andrews Sisters quite a lot as well. I wanted to move away from that because it's not the only style that we have. So we've gone into a different era where it's Tom Waits, Ry Cooder, even stuff up as late as Trisha Yearwood. And really that's where it's gone from the original stuff, which was one guitar and 3 voices. Now it's 5 members of the band. There's 2 guitars, 2 acoustic guitars, 1 lead guitar, bass, and 3 voices.
So in other words, you've still remained vocally very close in harmony, but you've become more contemporary.
More contemporary. It was suggested to us, or to the original band, about 5 years ago that we should go that way, and we were sort of very adamant at the time that we shouldn't. But we became sort of a band that was really only suitable to a kind of an esoteric audience, which isn't. It's okay for, you know, for a while, but there's not an awful lot of that in Ireland. So if you want people to know the stuff you're doing, not just to appreciate it, you've got to move and do stuff that's more contemporary. But we do it just as well, I reckon, so I'm happy with it, and the band is happy with it.
Yeah, you have played with many people. I'm just thinking very briefly of what Chris Meehan, Philip Donnelly, Lee Clayton, John Prine, Liam Clancy, amongst others. Mm-hmm. Have any of their own styles influenced what you're doing now on your own?
Have their particular styles on the albums that we worked on? Not really, only other than the fact that it's, I suppose, the opportunity to do so much studio work makes you more professional probably about your approach to things, because it's sort of quick stuff, it's in and it's out, but there's something at the end of it. It's very different to having a band, because you're just going in and you're involved, and though you mightn't like the work that you're doing at the time, you get completely involved in it anyway, and once it's finished, but it doesn't really influence the band's style that much. I don't think so.
The band itself it's maybe not original, and Miss Brown, to you, are diverse yet very tight in harmony and style. What about original material? Do you plan to release anything or get into the original style of music?
We have a few original songs. I write some myself. Richie, the bass player, has written one. I like my own music, but not as much as I like doing others. I don't think it's as good. And also I have this thing that people tend to think that because you don't do original, you're not a cool band, which annoys me quite a lot, because the music that we do, whether it's Tom Waits or Ella Fitzgerald or Ry Cooder or any of the ones that I mentioned earlier, we take the song and we change it completely. So to me, it's original in that way, that the arrangements are ours. They're not the same as what was released by the original artist. So it's much the same thing, really, if you approach it that way. Only I do know that because it's not original, there's a thing about it, but I don't think so. I think it's good. I think what we do is good.
Miss Brown, to you put your own style on everything. Emer Powell, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome, thank you.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I really feel that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, you know the moon lights up the night. Well, I light up when you call my name, 'cause I know you're gonna treat me right. You give me fever She's so born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade, they give you fever. When you kiss them, fever when you live and learn, yeah. Fever till you sizzle, what a lovely way to burn. What a lovely way to burn. Everybody's got the fever. Fever's something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago. You're giving me fever. Everybody's got the fever. Fever's something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago. You're giving me fever. What a lovely way to burn. You're giving me fever. What a lovely way to burn. You're giving me fever. What a lovely way to burn.
Slowly shifting, gently drifting in your arms. I'm quietly breathing, silent dreaming, thinking, yearning, hoping for a better journey, understanding what I'm planning. You're so blind you flounder, drowning. Moving closer, floating over, sinking into seas of colour. Feeling lighter, darker, brighter, consciousness begins to falter. Holding you, I start to wonder, pull you out or drag you under. Breathe deeper, daydreamer. Slowly shifting, gently drifting in your arms. I'm quietly breathing, silent dreaming, thinking, yearning, hoping for a better journey, understanding what I'm planning. You're so blind you flounder, drowning. Breathe deeper, daydreamer. Moving closer, floating over, sinking into seas of colour. Feeling lighter, darker, brighter, consciousness begins to falter. Holding you, I start to wonder, pull you out or drag you under. Breathe deeper, daydreamer.
Dress yourself from small adventure out of the box. It's love. Up and down, spread yourself round. Every new direction takes you over the same old ground. Saw you down, swallow it down. The so-called medicine. Close your eyes.
The new album 6x6 has just been released. A great launch about a week or so ago. Are you happy with it?
I think it went great. We had a brilliant time. Everyone seemed to be enjoying it, rocking, you can say that. Great crowd. Everyone was just well into it. We had a good night.
Yeah.
Do you remember all? It was brilliant, wasn't
So he tells me, I don't really remember, but I heard it was brilliant, yeah.
I was
it? No,
not.
we had a good time.
It
People
was,
were
yeah.
great.
There are very, very few contemporary rock bands in this area, particularly Waterford City at the moment. Is there a reason for this, or will everyone else stop recording in that mode because of your own success, do you think?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think we blew anyone out of the water just yet. But, no, things just move and come and go. You'll see them coming back soon enough. We just happen to be the ones who stuck through it. There'll be plenty more to come. So some good ones already.
The choice of material on the album, I mean, it's a wide choice, and I know the album was in fact finished a lot sooner than perhaps you had even expected. Are you satisfied with everything that's on it?
Well, yeah, we recorded the material in around 6 weeks. We had an album to do, and instead of going through the back catalogue and all that, we just said, just write some new stuff, put them down, see what they're like, and it turned out great.
New name, new start, new songs.
A new beginning. Finally, how hard is it to get venues to play, not only here in the southeast, but nationally, because it's a hard hoe, isn't it? I mean, hard.
Well, we don't really have a problem. I mean, we're getting our venue, we're getting our gigs, we're getting called back, we're doing good gigs around the place. We have a very busy schedule between this and December, Christmas holidays, and we'll be back into it again. The gigs are there. They might not be stadium gigs, every one of them, but they're there and they're good gigs. The audience are starting to drift back, come back to the... People are tired of listening to discos, I think.
Can I wish you all the very best with 6x6, and thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Bob. Thanks.
Sweet sample sympathy, smother the ground. Something invisible darkens the smile. I searched in eternity and fell by your side. Reasons unquestioned, nothing foretold. If one thing requested should Picture a penthouse way up in the sky with hinges on chimneys for stars to go by. A sweet slice of heaven for just you and I. When we're alone from all of society, we'll stay aloof and live in propriety there on the roof. To heavenly hum we will be in truth. When we're alone, we'll see life's mad pattern as we view old Manhattan. Then we can thank our lucky stars that we're living as we are. In our little penthouse, we'll always contrive to keep love and romance forever alive. In view of the Hudson, just over the drive. When we're alone, we can thank our lucky stars that we're living as we are. In our little penthouse, we'll always contrive to keep love and romance forever alive. In view of the Hudson, just over the drive. When we're alone.
Christy Dignam of Aslan, you're welcome to Waterford and the Roxy Theatre Club. What have Aslan been up to in recent times?
Well, we're doing a lot of gigging. We did a lot of playing around here in England. We went a few places around Europe. But in the last 2 or 3 months, last 2 months anyway, we've just been writing. And we did an acoustic tour. Actually, this is part of the acoustic tour. We're just road testing our own new songs, and we're going away to the States. We're organising the release of the album. Charlie Moonhead over there, so it's to showcase the album over there and stuff.
The Charlie Moonhead album with Chris O'Brien was a major success in this country. Will you work with Chris again?
Yeah. Well, the very first single we ever did was with Chris, you know. So, you know, in some capacity we'll work with him. Yeah, always.
How's this unplugged? Why do an unplugged tour in the first place? And has it been going really well? It's different for Aslan to move away from the rock end of things.
Well, you know, one thing was because the kind of the intimacy that's on an acoustic gig appeals to me more than a big gig. You know, like you can play our gigs, Brian Adams gigs in the RDS, and they're great for prestige and all that, but for actual artistic satisfaction, there's nothing in them gigs. These are the gigs for me that you get a buzz out of, so that's why we're doing this.
Why did Aslan decide to go and do an unplugged tour? Is it because of the success of the Eric Claptons of this world and the Neil Young unplugged?
No, not really. It's more because it costs so much money to put a full band on the road and to tour around. You know, it's for what we're trying to do. We're trying to road test songs and get songs, you know, get a feel for whether the songs are right or not. You can do that better in an acoustic atmosphere because it's more intimate and it's more economically feasible to do it that way at the moment. It's just, you know, promoters won't pay large fees for bands anymore because they don't need to, when they can get a disco or a rave or something and pay a DJ £150, you know, and pack a place. So that's kind of put a lot of strain on Irish bands to tour, you know. So you have to kind of cut down to the bone, and that's basically what we've done here, you know.
What kind of differences have you seen? Now you're in this business a long time. You've seen a lot of changes. Is it getting any better or any worse for new bands in particular in Ireland to play?
I think it's probably getting harder because when we started doing it, there wasn't a lot of Irish bands that were successful, you know. So we didn't have to live up to anybody's expectations. Now the standard is very high, you know. So I think the bands are competing is at a higher level. Plus, I think there's less places to play now, you know. It's a hard old game.
And how about yourself? I mean, I know you had an awful lot of personal problems over the years. How are things with you these days? You're looking great.
Don't know, you know, you just get through it one day at a time, you know. It's just, I'm still pulling the devil by the tail, so I don't know.
He's not winning as much of it.
No.
So what about the future for Aslan? What's the immediate future?
With this thing, this American thing, we get the album hopping over there. So if that happens, it's all we really want is an opportunity to make another album, you know. So that's what the future holds. Us attempting to con record companies out more money to make another record. That's basically it.
Where are you going to play in the States?
It's all along the northeast. We go in as far as Chicago, but mostly Boston, New York, Washington, down to North Carolina, up along Long Island, all along that coast there, you know.
We're going to see you back in the Roxy then, not too distant future then.
Sure, we'll be back here, yeah.
Stetsons and
Yeah.
what have you. Will you play a song for us?
We will, yeah. We'll surprise you, right? I won't tell you which one it is.
Okay. Christy, thanks very much again, and we hope to see you get back in Waterford very, very soon.
Look out yourself.
Take care.
All I ever do. There by the window, quietly killed for you. In this glass house, my insect life, crawling the walls under electric lights. I'll go into the night, into the night. Keen night, into the night. Is this still alive? All I'm good for too. There by the window, quietly killed for you. They drive by insects too. They don't know me, they'll hire a car for you to go into the night, into the night. She and I, into the night.